Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Alright Seipher, we're ready.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards. In the last episode, we faced down the quiet one of the rare hunters/ghouls, Strings, at the bridge, where we managed to keep him from summoning his Egyptian god card, and won rather handily. However, unfortunately after that, we unlocked the path to the Aquarium, which contains our last locator card duel, in the form of Mako Tsunami, but ended up suffering defeat after defeat from these random no-name trainers around here. This time, I intend to make up for my losses in the last episode by taking down the last duelist, or last two duelists I should say, because these two are actually rather special, but more on that later, and then actually leaving the aquarium to challenge a few other opponents around Battle City before we finally come back to hopefully take on Mako. I'll see how this episode progresses before we actually get into that, but since the last episode, I've actually gone back and dueled Bones a bunch. We're now sitting at 3,000 deck capacity, duels level 538. I think that's pretty much enough to use any card in the game. I might be wrong, I don't quite remember the highest deck cost related card in this game, but I've also changed around my deck quite a bit. I've added a few monsters that are a bit more powerful, swapped around a few things, generally just have a lot of monsters that I think will be able to help us, and most importantly, I have 3 revival jams now, which should enable me to swarm the field along with the other 2 monsters that, or other 3 monsters I have that can help me swarm the field. Anyway, let's start off by re-challenging this girl. Huh? A duel? Like, you really want to? You know, like, I'm totally strong. The Valley Girlism. Hated to do it, but I have to. Anyway, I'm actually going to bet something on in this, and I'm going to use one of the many cards I got from Bones to do so, just so that we have a decent setup. We're going to actually start things off by using the effect of Trap Master in this acid trap hole, so that we can get some field control going. Yep, should have expected that. And now that we have that taken care of, we can sacrifice Trap Master to summon this Thunder Dragon and just launch an all-out attack. And I should have expected that, but oh well. Let's now use Revival Jam's effect to create a copy of itself. We'll just basically swarm the field and clear her of all of the monsters that she could possibly use against us. So a bit of a overreach maybe, but I think it's justified at this point. I'll just use Doron here to finish swarming the field. I'll attack with Fairy's Gift and let both of my Revival Jams get their hits in. Amazing what a few duels to get your rank up and deck capacity up to be able to use stronger cards can do. Just because I'm going to actually use my new ace, Skull Knight, to finish her off. Alright. Deck capacity increased by 5, 477 Domino. Cyber Falcon, decent enough, I suppose. What? I lost? Takeshi, this kid's like being a total jerk. Can you shred him with your deck, baby? And now that we've done that, we can actually duel Takeshi here. I'm gonna pay you back double, punk. Prepare to take a licking. Alright, well, just like the previous duel, I think we'll be okay now that we've gotten quite a bit stronger. So we'll bet the Clown Zombie again. And thankfully, we seem to have good luck by getting Fairy's Gift, though he might have something stronger, I don't know. We'll just have to swarm the field as best we can and deal with him. Alright, probably gonna lose a door on here, but I don't care. Alright, that's good. We'll sacrifice that one Doron for our Thunder Dragon, and we'll play Pot of Greed. Okay, solid start. Let's just take out that Root Water and lay some massive hits down. So, yeah, I may have gone a little overboard, but considering this is actually the part that I remember from childhood being the most difficult, or at least for the most part, because all the duels have the built-in sea terrain to power, and all the duelists actually use water monsters, whereas previous no-name duelists didn't actually stick to the theme of the major opponent of the area. So we should be pretty much set now. Just gonna have Thunder Dragon take this guy out. Thank you. Ancient Elf. Solid, but probably have something better. I lost. Really? Really, Takeshi? He's seriously strong. Well, I'm just gonna leave the couple to it. Now that we've taken care of the last no-name duelist, because I did actually check the other no-name duelist up by Joey and Mako, she doesn't duel for whatever reason, so we're actually going to go back to the Clock Tower Square, and we're going to go to some opponents that I alluded to quite a bit ago, by going all the way here to test the duel machine that Mokuba mentioned previously. Data upload complete. Duel start. Right? I wanted to hold off on this because I knew that it was going to be rather troublesome, but we should be at a solid enough state now to be able to deal with whatever this opponent dishes out. I'll just activate Yami here. Then Pot of Greed. Then we'll use one of our revival jams to just start swarming the field. And that was a bad choice, but I think I can deal with that. Okay, time to do what I should have done previously and sacrifice, because that one opponent had me stuck, and I could have just sacrificed, activated Dark Hole to clear the board, and then summon Guilty of the Dark Knight, because this game is a little janky with how it kind of saves your tributes until something is actually summoned, so we're in a pretty solid state now. Okay, well, that electric lizard would be troublesome, but we can easily clear it with Morphing Jar. And of course, he's got an answer for that, but now that the electric lizard's ability is no longer in effect, we can just summon this revival jam and have Guiltia take out that petite dragon. Okay, now we'll just summon the Spirit of Books. Have one of our revival jams clear the field. And just sort of swarm this monster. Or swarm this computer's life points. Okay, and with that, we should be able to just win the duel now. So, not as hard, but if you try challenging this earlier, it can be pretty difficult because this computer actually had some decent cards, and if you let it get up to 3 monsters on the field, it can contribute for a monster with 5,000 attack points, so definitely want to be careful with that. Duel victory, hit capacity increased by 5,000 domino, Crocodilus, decent water monster, I suppose. Your victory has been confirmed. Alright, well, let's see what Mako has to say about us defeating it. You appear to be relatively skilled at this. The machine needs a bit more adjusting. Alright, well, you can actually challenge this computer over and over again. It is a pretty decent source of domino, I think. Though, honestly, I prefer challenging Bones because you can just get multiple copies of his cards and sell them at the card shop for domino, and he gives you 10 deck capacity, so you get pretty strong from doing so. Anyway, after that, we can actually challenge this guy here. I'm going to do just that. Duel, huh? Looks like you've got some decent cards, too. Okay, whatever then. Just this once. Yep, he will only duel you once, so make sure you... well, actually, I think you can duel him again if you lose, but try not to lose. Then again, I shouldn't really talk. I lost a bunch last episode. Alright, let's start things off by activating Yami. And then we're gonna summon our Doron and clone it. That should be a decent opening move. Okay, that's good. We can actually sacrifice our Dorons now to bring out our Skull Knight, who should pretty much be able to wipe out anything that he sends our way. Okay, Electric Lizard, decent enough, but I at least have some other monsters to deal with you. And I should have expected that, but oh well. Let's just have Mask of Darkness take the field to wipe out that Wicked Dragon with Ursat's head and have Skull Knight land a direct attack. Okay, Electric Lizard once again. Running multiple copies of that card is a pretty good idea. Thankfully, I seem to have just what I need to deal with this guy. And if I hadn't attacked, or if Skull Knight wasn't paralyzed, I could show... Well, you know what? I guess I can show. Or, actually, no, never mind. Actually, yeah, you've got enough life points, so I can show one good thing about ritual cards in this game, since you don't need the ritual monster it summons, but if you attack with Mask of Darkness, and then you have this Contract of Mask, you can actually use the sacrifice options, and then activate Contract of Mask, and it will replace your Mask of Darkness with the Mask of Shine and Dark, which can then attack itself, so pretty strong. Definitely something to keep in mind. Duel victory. Deck capacity increased by 30, so a boss that you didn't really know that you needed to fight, but pretty strong. Pretty good for us. 5,000 Domino, and Gyaku Uteno Megami. Yeah, it's alright. You can power up all monsters on the field with attack of 500 or less. Not really all that great. If it was a 4-star monster, this might actually have some play, because then you could just load your deck up with weak cards and power them up with this card, but it's a 6-star monster, so you can't really use it that well. My rare card. What a disgusting outcome. Okay, playtime's over. Get lost. Alright, well, with that, I suppose we can now make our way back to the aquarium, where our final opponent for the episode awaits. So, let's just head on up. You can duel Joey over and over again as long as he's here. I personally don't really recommend it, because at this point you can duel Bones and Rex and Espa over and over again. Really, he's just not all that worth it unless you want to just get cards from his pool, because each duelist has their own pool of cards that they can give you if you win a duel, anteing your own card, but I don't really care about his pool, so let's now challenge Mako. I will say that if you had tried to challenge him when you first arrived here before you challenged anyone else in the aquarium, he would not accept your challenge, much like Weevil. You're not bad at dueling, not bad at all. But I have to win this tournament and earn the big prize money. If anyone gets in my way, don't expect any mercy. Alright, well, let's challenge you. You want to duel? Fine, we will. You're Wheeler's little pal. I'll have you squealing. You and me will play for our locator cards. We're way past the warm-up stage. Alright, well, like I have been, I'll just be betting Clown Zombie. Since it has a high deck cost, and I have a lot of copies of it to throw around. I'll just throw out this Dragon as the Wicked Knight and see where we can go from here. Alright, well, that's a little disconcerting, so let's... Yep, I had a feeling that he had that card. Torrential Tribute. Launch an attack, it'll clear all of your monsters from the field, so definitely want to do your best, and unfortunately I didn't have enough attack points to survive that, so here's hoping that... Okay, good. Now let's sacrifice Fishwar Randy to summon our Thunder Dragon, because he's going to have mostly Aqua-related monsters. He might have a few Earth monsters in there somewhere, but mainly going to be Aqua monsters and any monsters that can get powered up by this Yumi terrain that he's got going on. So we're definitely going to have our work cut out for us, but thanks to our Thunder Dragon, we should be okay. I also have Electric Lizard. His main concern is that he comes with the sea terrain already built in. He has Torrential Tribute to clear your field if you launch attacks. And he does have some pretty powerful monsters waiting in the back if he can get the tributes up for it. So definitely want to make the most of your opportunities and take him out as quickly as possible. Thankfully, I seem to be having some decent luck now that I have kind of stacked my deck in favor for this duel. Alright, one more turn and we should be good. Thunder Dragon, finish this off and get us our last locator card. Duel Victory. Your deck capacity increased by 30. 5,000 Domino obtained. The Legendary Fisherman obtained. A whale-riding man of the sea with a compassionate spirit. He cannot be bested by anyone when battling at sea. Well, that's pretty good. My ultimate sea deck. Pa. I'm sorry, Pa. Way to play, Seipher. Locator card was obtained. So now let's actually talk to Joey, see what he has to say. Darn. I have to hand it to you, Seipher. I was going to beat Tsunami, but it's too late now. I mean, I'm sure he has other locator cards. I mean, I've got 6 now myself. I doubt he only had the one. You could probably fight him and get one of the others off of him. What do you have to say, Mako? What am I supposed to say to my pa? Don't say that. You did well, man. Now, you can either say cheer up or tough. And from what I remember of this game, if you say cheer up, you will lose access to Mako forever. He will no longer be here. You won't be able to duel him again, so I recommend saying tough if you want to be able to duel him again. Yeah, I don't need your vacant pity. I'll keep on dueling. My paw took on even the roughest sea head-on. I'm not going to break over this. Alright, well, let's leave the aquarium and see where we can actually go. Because at this point, we've been practically all around Battle City. We have all of our locator cards. Just to go into the status screen. Yep. We got a lot of money. We could buy some cards. we're just generally in a good spot, but let's go back to the Moto game shop because we did promise that we would all come back here to meet up. Joey Wheeler came by a while ago, and he left with Taya Gardner. There was something odd about him, though. Well, that's a bit, disconcerting, I should say. Well, what do you have to say, Solomon? Odd. Now, where could those two have gone? Well, I think with all that we've covered today, that this would actually be a good stopping place. Kind of leave you on a cliffhanger while we try and think of where Joey and Taya could have gone. So, with that, I'm going to end things here. I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.